What's up, fam? It's Chappell, host of the Recap Kickback podcast, here for our finale exit interviews for Deal or No Deal Island as a part of the RHAP Here to Quit podcast feed. And ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be here with the winner of Deal or No Deal Island Season 1, the Queen of Dondi, Jordan Fowler. Jofo, what's up?
Yeah, Queen of Dondi. I'll take it. Thank you. So excited to be here.
Jordan, it's so excited to have you. I know you have a ton of interviews to do. Some people have so many questions for you, and so I want to jump right in. Last
Yes.
night, we all watched you get crowned the winner of Deal or No Deal Island Season 1. How does it feel now that you've got to watch yourself take home the title and all that money?
Unbelievable. Like that episode was like the coolest movie I've ever watched ever. So I'm going to rewatch it. It was like one win after another, the coolest like hour of television. So, I mean, I'm so humbled and honored and lucky and grateful, and I'm soaking up all the support.
Yes, our big reveal from last night was that you won the money, but we also got a little other sneak peek of a reveal. Jordan, you are now expecting a child. How hard was it keeping this secret? Because not only did you win, but you also had a baby on the way. You told no one.
I know I have like serious trust issues with my circle of friends. They're like, "You're crazy. That's the nuttiest pregnancy announcement ever." I mean, it's been wild, but you know what? It's been also beautiful to like enjoy each thing as it comes. And first thing was like, we're going to enjoy each episode of the show, and no one knows the result of that, and no one knows what's happening with me behind the scenes. And so we enjoyed each episode in its entirety, and everyone got their moment. And then the show ended, and then we got that amazing $1.23 million. And then that had its moment. And then we could move on to this wild new chapter as a mom, which I'm so excited about. So I'm grateful with how everything played out. Everything got its time to shine, and I'm excited for what's ahead.
It's been such a beautiful story, and I've seen how many like inspirational messages and comments you've been getting. Tell me a little bit about how that feels, seeing so many people reach out and say how they were impacted by your pregnancy journey, because I've been seeing it all, and it's touching even for me. So I know it's had to be a lot for you to carry.
Thank you. It was something I didn't know if I was going to mention when I was going through the process, but I had just had a very late stage, quite traumatic miscarriage, and found out I had PCOS, and that fertility would be such a hard challenge that like part of my why for being on the show and going on in the first place was to take a pause, a reset, and reconnect. I was just in such a place of discouragement in my life where I had lost a lot of hope that I needed this. And so to now look back and see like the messages that are coming in from people that are like, your story gives me hope. I'm like, I like that's truly like the biggest win ever, because I needed those moments of hope and support. So if I can be that for other people, that's amazing. And like we're sharing tips, and someone sent me one tip about PCOS and I sent it to this other person. So I'm like, this community is just thriving. Like women are badasses. We go through a lot, and we have to be there to lean on each other. And this show allowed me to do that for some people, and they're doing it for me in return. So it's an amazing community that has been built in such unexpected ways.
Yeah, so you have that community and you have the Deal or No Deal Island community, which you are the face of right now, because going into the finale, people were like talking about who might win, but a lot of people would be very excited if we got a Jordan win. Personally, I was convinced that you had it, but what did you think your chances were to take home the crown at the Final Four?
To have that level of support, it's just wild. First of all, like I'm just such a normal, regular person. So to like have people on the internet talking about you, like I've been a reality game show fan for years, but I guess I never thought about what it was like to like see and hear how invested people are. And like they're so invested in me and my story and winning. I'm like, this is the like coolest thing ever, 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 ever. So I'm grateful that the Jordan fans are happy. And I've even seen other people be like, you know what, we'll take it. It's not Rob, but we'll take it if it's Jordan. So every message of support means everything. It's one thing to go through it on your own, but it's another to have people be excited for you. And I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like so many people are celebrating with me right now.
Yeah. Did you think you had it locked up at the Final Four?
Final four, I mean, gosh, that puzzle, not easy. So when I was standing up there, I could bet on myself physically. So I'm like running wise, and I am a Joe PS. I know my way around. So I'm like, I'm not worried about the maze or the running, but I got to solve this puzzle. And pressure was on, but I was also like, this is good. It like delays Rob a little bit. So we'll like not get too stressed out. But then it was a blind case open. So I mean, It's hard to say. I grabbed that fourth case, I ran back, and I just like, gosh, like hoped with every ounce of me that it was going to be a good outcome. And then, gosh, that final excursion, no joke. Let me tell you, it was hot. It was physically exhausting. Mentally, you're like so stressed out. There's so much pressure. So it's just one. I mean, and then to like meet Howie. I mean, the whole thing. It's just like one thing after another. It's crazy. It was the most like stimulating few days of my life ever.
Were you shocked to meet the banker and find out that it was Howie? Because for us, it felt like he might have been the obvious choice.
Howie had to be involved in some way. How do you have Deal or No Deal and cases without Howie, right? Like they go hand in hand. So at one point, I'm like, he has to show up. Did I expect him to be so sassy? No, I'm like, this is not the Howie that I watched on my couch growing up. But if he's going to bring it, I'm going to have the last word. So, I mean, he was lovely. It was like truly like the most authentic, real moment. Like nothing was scripted. Everybody was just spitballing with each other, having a good time. It felt like a final party. And I'm glad it had that sentiment despite a dramatic season.
Yes, and you have the unique experience again about going up against the banker in person. So you're at the banker's temple. Howie's there. You have all of the other cast members there. How did it feel getting to finally play Deal or No Deal? Because you went the entire season without having to face him.
Crazy. I'm like, this is what this red button is like. This is how it feels to like put the box down. Like I was going through all the motions. And also, how hard is it to pick a number case? I know it's so random, but my goodness, you would like the amount of stress that you feel. And then you're like, you play out all the scenarios. And what's so funny to me is like I really leaned on the castmates. Everyone was helping. We were all kind of playing together. But that last one for case 18, I'm like, everyone stop talking. I'm going to make this decision on my own. And it was the one case that was the 13 million, of course. So I'm like, lesson learned, listen to your castmate, play as a team. But it was absolutely surreal and to like be offered the largest amount in Deal or No Deal Island. I mean, Deal or No Deal history on Deal or No Deal Island. Everything. Feel very lucky.
Yes, Jordan, you played a very under the radar game. There were even episodes where we weren't even sure you were there, but I think that seemed like such a good strategy. Could you tell us a little bit about how you came to the game, what you thought you were going to do, and then how that evolved when you got on the island?
It's a new competition game show. So there's no exact character that you can copy. So you really have to come up with your own strategy based off of where you can be authentic, what your strengths are. So there were two things I said I was going to do. One, kill it in excursions, never be in the bottom two. And two, never be anyone's number one target. So long as those things would be true, I'd get far enough in the game and then I'd reassess. So I mean, it's an active strategy though. Let me tell you, like running from Rob would hang out on one side of the beach, running over there, chatting with them, and then like making my way over there, but not making it seem like I'm going to like gossip about what like they just told me about. It was a lot to like keep all the stories straight, remember who the number one target was for all the different groups going on. I mean, it was emotionally and socially draining, but it was coming from a place of like, I'm so curious about where everyone is at with their number one targets and their strategy and their story that I just wanted to play a game that I could be proud of in the end and like hopefully like show my kids in the future. And I feel like I did that. So I'm very proud of that.
Are you happy with the edit that you got as far as like how active you were in the game? Because we know you're working hard, but I don't know if
Yeah.
the show actually portrayed that all the time.
You know, Longer episodes. We just need more of it. We need more
90-minute episodes.
because I like there's so much about each cast member that I wish we would have seen more of. And I think it's Boston Rob is great. We all know him. It's a lot easier to rally behind a character that you know so well. We're all total strangers. So like to like build notoriety and like fandom and to have people want to support you, they have to get to know you. And like there's just not enough time to get to know all of us as much as I wish that people could have. So, you know, I don't trust me, being an editor for this show would be the hardest thing in the world. Congrats to them. They made a great show, but I just wish we got to see more of everyone, but that just means longer episodes. So
Yes.
NBC,
What
get on it.
yes, please get on it. Jordan, what were your other reality TV competition shows that you were into? Because I know you were a fan of Boston Rob. I think it's underreported that you actually knew who he was the whole time.
I knew who Boston Rob was. I don't think I had seen him in years and he looked a lot different. I'll never forget going up to him when we first had the chance to meet. And I'm like, I'm Jordan. Like, it's nice to meet you. And I just trying to make small talk. I was like, so what does your family think about you doing this kind of thing? And he's like, well, I do this kind of thing often. I'm like, what? And then I finally put it together. I'm like, oh my gosh, he was wearing the hat in Survivor. Like it like took a moment for me to put all the pieces together, which was wild. But I also think good because I wasn't super intimidated by him. I'm like, all right, great. He's won one other show. He's been on multiple other seasons. Like he did it. Why can't I? Like it was something that I think people got so freaked out about. I'm like, you are in control of your own game. Let him play his, you play yours. So yeah, I mean, and now I'm obsessed with traders. I've always been a
Yes.
three. Like, if there was a strategy that I was trying to bring into mine, it was hers. Like, she is so genuine. She plays an amazing social game. She like listens more than she talks. She's so strategic in that way. She understands people's motivations. So it was like three inspired when it came to my strategy.
Oh my God. And I think you encapsulated a lot of that, Jordan. Please let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can find you, what you got going
Yes.
on. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I know the people want to know what you have going on these days.
Well, you can follow me on It's Me Jofo across all social handles, and I'm so excited about the future. I like studied broadcast journalism in college. I like was on a kids TV show growing up. Like, I'm so excited to be back in the world of entertainment. So we'll see what that means in the future, but I'm sure this is not the last you will see of me.
Oh, we hope not. We're holding out hope for Trader season 3,
Ah!
so fingers crossed.
I love
Uh,
it.
Jordan, you were amazing. It's been a pleasure talking to you. This has been so much fun. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all the support for everyone throughout the whole season, Chappell. It's been great.
Oh, no problem. Okay, everyone, that was Jordan Fowler, the Queen, the winner of season 1 of Deal or No Deal Island. To keep up with more of our reality TV coverage and future coverage of Deal or No Deal Island, please remember to subscribe to the RHAP Hit or Quit podcast feed for weekly episode reality TV recaps. And be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback for more information on what else I have going on. Until next time, peace. Fam, I am here with our second place contestant for Deal or No Deal Island season 1. It's Amy McCoy. Amy, congratulations. You did it. You made it so far.
I did barely.
How's everything been going? How have you been digesting the results from last night? It was a crazy night. We see Jordan take on the big win, and you narrowly miss a chance to go up against the banker. How are you feeling right now?
Oh man, I was really emotional. This was filmed 7 months ago, so it's always going to be a part of my life. But when it is brought back fresh in my brain, those feelings start coming back, and I was like, I was this close. I was so close. But, my husband, I actually cried. I'm not going to lie. I broke down crying. I was just very like, oh my gosh, all the emotions. But, my husband always tells me that it wasn't my blessing to receive. And then knowing Jordan's why she was there, we all had a why. Jordan's really touched my heart because she admitted on the season finale that she had had a really bad late term miscarriage, and that broke my heart. I'm a mom of 3. They are my world, regardless of what America says. So knowing that money was going to help her start a family and be a mom, I was elated for her. I was on the side cheering her on. I was helping her pick case numbers. I was just, my tears started sadness for myself, but by the end of the show, my tears were happiness, extreme joy. I can't wait to be a little auntie to a little Dondi baby. I'm
Yes.
just so incredibly happy and so proud of her because she did it. She earned it.
Yeah. Oh, this is amazing to talk to you about because there's so much you just touched on. We only have a little time. Amy,
Okay.
had you gone up against the banker, personally, I feel like you would have done great. It's like you could see through the cases sometimes. Amy, how are you so good at picking these cases in Deal or No Deal? And have you been thinking about how you would have approached your battle with the banker in that final round?
Oh yeah, I told a couple people going in. I think I told Miranda Dawson, maybe Nick. Going in tonight, I'm gonna even though I'm not playing, I'm gonna play. My case would have been 18. My son was born March 18th. The number 8 is a special place in my heart. So I was gonna go with 18. And 18 was the biggest case.
The
18
biggest
was the
case.
final. So I always trusted my intuition. I don't know if it's a Libra thing because I'm me and Jordan and Steph are all 3 Libras. 42 years of life. I've just always been really in tune with myself. I've always followed my gut. Like I can just tell when something's off. I can just like I just really have a gut feeling about a lot of things, and 9 times out of 10 it's right. So I always just follow my gut. In the paddleboard excursion with me and Steph, she was like, we want the key. We want the key. And I was like, okay, right here. And first case, we got the key and we were done and we were having our little tea and we was just chilling. So
Yeah.
I've always just followed my gut, and I will continue to do so forever.
Amy, your instincts when it comes to strategy were very impressive this season as well, because you early on clocked that maybe I need to be going to the end with somebody like Aaron so that I can beat them in the excursion, which may or may not be physical. We come to find out that not only do you have to make it through the maze, but you do have to essentially do a ropes course against Jordan. Do you feel like you would have fared better if you had your druthers and were able to take Aaron to the end?
Absolutely. Jordan was probably the most athletic female on the island. She eats super healthy, she's gluten-free and all the things, and like does all the things I need to be doing for my body, but I'm not going to. Very determined, a fighter. It kind of impressed me when I saw her and Steph talking, and Jordan was like, I don't want to go to the final two with Amy because she is a fighter. Like, she doesn't give up. It really made me feel good because I didn't look at myself as, I mean, I knew I was holding my weight, my fair share in comps. Like, I'm not scared of snakes. I'm not scared of heights. I got my ass out of the mud. Like, I'm determined. I'm not going to give up, but I didn't want to face her, I guess, as much as she didn't want to face me, because I know her body is ripped. I was like, I would much rather have Steph over Jordan. And not because Steph isn't ripped, because she is too, but Steph is scared of height. And I remembered that from excursion 3. So I was like, please be Steph, please be Steph. She's scared of heights. I'm not scared of heights. So maybe her fear will take her out and I can win. But I feel like if Aaron and I would have been a better match, I do feel like Aaron would have probably got the answer, before we going into the maze. I feel like I got the answer very, very quickly. I feel like Aaron probably would have got it quickly as well. So it would have just been a foot race. But yeah, I would have much rather faced Aaron, Steph, anybody but Jordan, because she is ripped. But you know what? I believe everything happens for a reason, and this was her blessing to receive, and I could not be more happy, more proud of her. She's so deserving, and I mean, she has my blessings forever.
Amy, make no mistake, you are a fierce competitor. There, throughout the season, we see moments where you are like you are doing different things to give yourself the edge because you know you're at a physical disadvantage in a lot of ways. You were the
Right.
first person into that maze. The mental portion of that competition just came so naturally to. Is that just something that you practice at home? Are you just naturally good at puzzles and things of that nature, or were you really focusing on the mental aspect of Deal or No Deal Island?
Oh, I was focusing on the mental aspect. At one after episode 3, I didn't even call, like, in my mind, I didn't call people by names. I called them by numbers. I memorized the exact number. Like, Branson was number 1, Jamil number 2, then Claudia, then like everybody was a number. Like, when someone would say Branson, in my mind I'd be like 1, Alyssa 6. Like, when they said her, because I was memorizing what order they went out. I knew the name of every challenge and what excursion number it was. Like, I was memorizing everything mental because I was really hoping that there would be more mental challenges than physical. And I knew if there was a mental challenge, I had the edge up over everyone. I know Rob has a degree in psychology. I know Aaron is a mathematician, but I was studying day in and day out every single part of that island, like every single thing. So I knew if it came down to a mental challenge, I could kill it. I knew that at first I started high. I told myself the answer is 74, 75, 76, but then I was like, that's too low. So I started in the 90s, and then a couple answers didn't work. And I was like, no, Amy, go with your gut. You've been going with your gut the whole show. I think I tried 76. It didn't work. Tried 75. And then I was like, out.
Yeah. Amy, tell us what happened in the maze. You were in there for so long. What was going on?
Oh my gosh. So I get the map. I suck at maps. I'm freaking out anyway. Like, I'm like, we have iPhones and GPS for a reason. Like, why am I reading this historic map? I looked at the map. I thought I had my bearings down pretty good. I have not a photographic memory, but I can like pretty much picture what I looked at. And for some reason, I thought you had to go through the low value cases and go around to get the key. So I went through I hit every dead end. I went through the low value case ropes, came back, went through another dead end, finally found the keys. By the time I found the keys and I was heading to the high value cases, Jordan and Steph already passed me. And I was like, oh, and I have the shortest legs. Like, I am so short. Like, my husband is 6'4", and here I am running a maze. I can't see above me. I can't see anything. I can't see if I even think there's something over there or if it's just tall brush. So I ran the maze probably 3 times. I ran 3 times longer than anybody else had to because I couldn't see. I was, I knew I had a head start and I knew there had been a rule breach and I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. Like my mind was just spinning that I'm just running, looking for any end in sight. But Rob was a little bit further behind me than it made it seem. So the one thing I kind of want to clear up is so people, I'm getting so much hate in my inbox, but the number one thing they're saying is like, I can't believe you swore on your kids, you're going to hell. But like I swore on my kids a final 2 with Rob. But when we didn't know we were going to go into a double elimination. And then by the time I saw Rob in the maze, I was like, there's no cases left. Like I am done. I'm so tired. I'm trying any trick to try to make him turn around. I didn't have the chance to take him to final 2 at that point because it was me versus him. I'm like, whoever makes it out of the maze first is not guaranteed they have a chance to be final 2 because then it comes down to case values. The last person to make it out of that maze is done. So at that point, I'm like, I did swear on my kid's life, but I didn't have the opportunity to take him to final 2, or I probably would have, honestly. I just wanted to clear that up because that's one of the most annoying things I'm hearing.
Oh, no, listen, this is a game. We understand a lot of people are going to take umbrage with that, but I think a lot of people were really inspired with your journey to from beginning to end on this season. Like I said, strategically, you maneuvered your way through the game. You had a good showing against the banker. You ended up in the second place spot. It's very commendable. What do you have to say as far as advice for people who decide to play Deal or No Deal Island Season 2?
I would say if you're even thinking about it, do it. Like I never in a million years thought someone that's 4'11", 150 pounds, a mom of 3, would even have a chance to live their dream. But I put myself out there and here we are. Like if you can dream it, you can achieve it. Believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself. And if they see something special in you, believe them. So I would say if you're thinking about doing it, do it. Like life is too short.
Yeah, I totally agree. Amy, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can follow you on social media, and what you've been working on.
As long as you're not going to send me any hate, I can't handle any more hate. It's OKC Amy _McCoy, MCCOY. That's all my handles. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Facebook is really, I have a lot of family pictures and I have a lot of personal stuff on there. So I don't really do a lot on Facebook, but Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, it's all OKC Amy _McCoy.
All right, Amy, thank you so much for your time. I have to ask, as on a personal note, would you ever play another one of these games again?
I probably would. I learned a lot. Rob's done this 20 years. He's the GOAT. I love him as a player and a person. But even though we were on opposite sides, I did learn a lot from him. So I probably would. It would just depend on what it was. I don't think I can do Big Brother because I couldn't be away 90 days from my husband and kids, but I would definitely give something another shot, I think.
That's good information. You heard it here, you all. We could see some big things coming from Amy in the future, but this was your runner-up of Deal or No Deal Island Season 1. Thank you so much, Amy, for your time.
Thank you.
All right, what's up, fam? I'm here with our third place contestant from Deal or No Deal Island, Dr. Stephanie Mitchell. Stephanie, how are you?
I am lovely. Thank you so much, Chappell. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh no, it is our honor to have you, Stephanie. You were surely one of the stars of this season, but I have to ask, how did it feel watching the show back as a spectator, having lived this experience just months before?
It was absolutely amazing watching it back, watching it as a viewer and someone who loves competitive reality and has been entrenched in competitive reality. And to see that is really me on there, getting to live out her dreams. It was amazing. I enjoyed every moment. And it just highlighted so many great things for me, in terms of what it takes to build a production like this and all of the dynamic personalities. I mean, I learned so much through this process. It was so great. I got double the fun because I got to be in it and then I got to look forward to it every week. And then I got to look forward to you guys doing the recap.
It's been fun talking about your game, but your game did come to an end with a little bit of bad luck, Stephanie.
Yeah.
That moment, you pulled the second low, the lowest case at the time. How did you feel knowing that your game had come to an end and you didn't get a chance to ultimately play against the banker?
Oh, I was absolutely crushed. As you guys know, we're like 7 months out from that, but I had to heal. I had to really heal because, I mean, ultimately you want to win, and having to essentially from episode 1 to have to duck and dive and try to avoid, you know, being eliminated and being targeted. It was unbelievable to have made it that far and nobody could look at me and point at me and say, "You go home." Like, no, I won. And I beat Rob. I don't care. For 3 minutes, I beat him. And he's one of the greatest of all times to ever have done this sort of work. And so I was thrilled to have made it that far. I was super proud of myself. And there's a level of disappointment, but I want to say that's probably overshadowed by the fact that Jordan was able to take home that win. Like, I couldn't be more proud of her. I couldn't be more thrilled. A more deserving person did not walk away with those winnings that and that final game against the banker.
Yeah, what was it like watching Jordan compete against the banker in that final round with all of her fellow contestants rooting her on?
I wanted her to run Howie Mandel to the bankruptcy yard. I wanted her to run out with all of his money. So I was so proud of her. I mean, every single dollar we had to grind through the mud, swing through the trees, bit by snakes, explosive case. So those dollars meant so much to me. There was more than just the value. It was the value of the dollar, but also what was attached to that, which was our experience filling up that final case. And I was rooting for her, and I wanted her to just absolutely take home the most she absolutely could. And she's so deserving and so grateful. I'm so grateful that it was her. So it was really a great experience.
How do you think you would have done if you got to go up against the banker in that final? I know you've been playing that over in your head for these last few months.
Sure. And I think about the case number that I would have chosen. I'm not a gambler. I fear I would have tapped out early. I fear that for all of us. Yeah, they would have been very sad. They would have been very sad because you see Amy, she's like literally almost clairvoyant. She just
Mhm.
knew what was in those cases, and she's a gambler, not me. I would have been calculating my little bills, like how much is this going to get, will I be able to make do with? So
Mhm.
I fear it would not have been anywhere as bold as Jordan was able to do. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of bold, you did get a very bold edit this season. I mean, it was the
Oh,
Boston Rob show at first until Stephanie showed up. Stephanie, what do you think about the perception that you got from the show? Kind of your edit, because it was
oh,
teetering into villainous, and I kind of like that.
it
A little
was. I
bit.
never thought I'd be that girl. I mean, I knew I had it in me, because, I've studied greats of this competitive reality space, particularly in Big Brother. Like, the whole point is to try to be able to manipulate certain situations that you could so that you could move forward in the game. And that is what a lot of these things are on. In Deal or No Deal Island, it's highly social and strategic, but then there's that luck piece. So I'm very hyper aware of an edit. If there's a storyline to be had, I guess I gave you one. I certainly wasn't going to be railroaded by anybody, because you got two choices. You really do. When it comes down to it, you either beat that man, Boston Rob, you either beat him or he will win. And I'm sorry that people don't know that, but I do. And so it served as a disservice to me knowing that information, because you have to now do something about it. And so what are you going to do? I've never been the rollover type. That's never been I've never done that. So I didn't have an option. I didn't have an option. And when I saw people really going out there and putting their own actual games on the line, I knew I was in a world of trouble. I said, none of these people know. And the only person that had intimate knowledge was Kim Matina, and we see what happened to her. So it
Mhm.
was very difficult to circumvent that situation, because I dare to admit that there was not another person on that cast that had intricate, detailed knowledge of what it meant to be playing in a competitive reality space with Boston Rob. I don't think they knew.
No, Stephanie, you stepped up to the plate. I mean, there's a lot of people. We've seen it before. They come into contact with Boston Rob, and he's like a buzzsaw. But you had that action for him, and I loved it. I love watching every second of it, Steph.
Oh, it was so terrible. It was so terrible. I was unprepared because Boston Rob can sniff a lie from a mile away. He did it with Alyssa. He did it with me. Like, it's nothing to him. Like, way from the beginning, episode 1, season 1, he immediately is on to the shenanigans that I wasn't going to be one of those people. And that's what made me a little bit of a target, you know? And I think ultimately his desire to see me eliminated ultimately is what derailed his game, because we said it by his own mouth, like, you're focusing on the wrong people. I didn't believe him for a second when he said that. You need to be focused on people like Jordan. And I was like, yeah, same, you know, like, well, you know, it was really tough, but I'm pleased with the outcome of the show. It is what it is. I can't undo my deleterious actions. There was no other way to play. You either play or you give up your case and go home for Rob. You either play or create a silly plan that nobody's gonna follow, and then you go home by me. Like, what do you want? You know, you have to play.
Listen, yeah, there can only be one winner. And last night, our big winner was Jordan. But we did get the big reveal that Jordan is pregnant. Stephanie, we know this aligns with your passion about the birthing center and stuff. How did you feel when you got that reveal? She kept this from you. She kept this from you for a while.
The only person that knew was Nick, and that's because he went and visited her in Tennessee. But I will say that speaking with Jordan while we were there on the island, it was very clear that motherhood was part of her journey, and then she had struggles and difficulties getting to that place. And I know how much this baby is wanted and already loved. And women's healthcare, reproductive healthcare is my passion in life. I know how important this piece of the journey is for people who want it. And I couldn't be more thrilled. I was floored. I was excited. I'm joyful. I have well wishes for her for a safe and healthy pregnancy journey. Like, it was I was like, yes, that's exactly what we needed. We needed the balm for our souls. And Jordan's expanding family is that balm that we needed.
Yes, Stephanie, unfortunately, we do have to wrap up soon, but I want to give you a chance to plug yourself, tell everybody what you're working on, talk about the birthing centers. This is your stage. It's my pleasure to hand you the mic here.
I am working on opening Alabama's first midwifery owned, led, and operated freestanding birth center in Sumter County, Alabama. We are the birth sanctuary on the socials, and this is a space that is for pregnancy care and labor and birth, you know, and women's health and reproductive health is everything that I'm passionate about in a state of Alabama who so desperately needs it. I am excited to be able to have this journey to be able to bring this birth center to fruition to the folks that need it the most. So feel free to follow me on the socials. I'll be out there doing this work.
Yes, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you potentially play another reality TV game in the future.
They're gonna have to call me, but I think I think I'm already painted as the villain, so it's gonna be really hard if they do, because I haven't showed all my tools.
House of Villains season 3. Listen, Stephanie, where there's a will, there's a way. But it has been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we hear a lot from you in the future as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Chappell.
Oh, it's no problem, everyone. That was Dr. Stephanie Mitchell, our third placer from season 1 of Deal or No Deal Island. To keep up with more of our reality TV coverage and future coverage of Deal or No Deal Island, please remember to subscribe to the RHAP Hit or Quit podcast feed for weekly episode reality TV recaps. And be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback for more information on what else I have going on. Until next time, peace.